Senator Coons. We have three remaining Democratic senators to ask, Senators Whitehouse, Blumenthal, and Padilla, and it depends on the arrival of Republican senators, but we'll start with Senator Whitehouse.
Thanks, Chairman, and welcome to both of the witnesses who are here. I wish you well in your process through this committee and onto the floor. I often ask nominees their views about the jury, and so that it's not a trick or sneak question, I will refer back to the great Blackstone and his view that the jury was an institution that helped ordinary folks have an even chance against what he called the more powerful and wealthy citizens. It had that role in our system of government. And it's obviously defended from corruption and influence in a whole lot of different ways. The jurors are chosen at random. You get a new set every time, so you can't go to the juries and make friends. And of course, tampering with jurors is a crime. So my contention, and I think Blackstone's and others, is that a jury is not just a fact-finding appendage of a trial judge, but actually is an important piece of America's architecture of governance and should be treated as such. And I also often note that the Supreme Court seems to have gone on a binge of trying to diminish and deprecate the civil jury, which, if my thesis is correct, that the Supreme Court has largely been captured by big corporate special interests, would be consistent with trying to undermine the civil jury, because you don't really want a institution that pushes back against the more wealthy and powerful members of society, who are today corporate members of society, if you're in tow to those corporate members of society. Without asking you to get into that second conversation, could you please explain your views on the importance of the civil jury in the context of American governance? Judge Douglas.
Thank you, Senator, for that question. It is my belief that the jury system is an essential part of the justice system. Certainly, the Seventh Amendment speaks to the right to a jury, and I think it is every litigant's right who comes before the court to have their matters heard, to have the opportunity and the option to have a jury listen to those concerns, and to be the trier of fact for those issues.
Mr. Garcia.
Thank you, Senator. I wholeheartedly agree with Judge Douglas. Great respect for the Seventh Amendment protection of civil jury, I think, and the Sixth Amendment as well as a check on government in criminal cases.
And I would just say to anyone who is concerned about Mr. Garcia's level of experience, I've been on this committee a little while, and I watched Justin Walker come through, who at the time of his nomination was not listed on a single litigation filing, had never served as sole or chief counsel in any case tried to verdict or judgment. Naomi Rao came through with no judicial experience, no experience litigating before federal courts, state courts, or administrative agencies, had never briefed or argued an appeal, had never tried any case in any capacity. She appeared in one single amicus brief in the Eighth Circuit. Amy Coney Barrett came through for the Seventh Circuit with almost no litigation experience and, of course, no judicial experience. And Allison Jones Rushing came through at the age of 36, never having appeared or argued before the United States Supreme Court. So there's a rather one-sided approach here to the concerns that have been expressed about Mr. Garcia. I think that some of these other judges brought other credentials that relate to the court capture effort, and I note specifically that Judge Rao came out of the Koch brothers political operation funded doctrine factories, where things like what's now been added to the Supreme Court's roster, the major questions doctrine, got revived, fertilized, invigorated, and put into play so that judges could then move them into the law of the land from the doctrine factories. So I think just a moment's reflection on balance is appropriate as we consider some of this commentary. And I welcome you both, and I wish you well.
Senator Whitehouse, Senator Blumenthal.